Have you ever looked at someone who never misses a workout, never skips a study session, never quits their business, and thought they must have endless motivation? That they wake up every morning full of energy while you're struggling just to get out of bed? That's the biggest lie you've ever believed. The people you admire are not winning because they always feel energized. They're winning because they made a decision long ago that their feelings would never be in charge of their future. Read that again in your mind. Your feelings are temporary. Your future is permanent. Every single day, thousands of people wake up tired. They don't feel like working. They don't feel like studying. They don't feel like going to the gym. They don't feel like chasing their dreams. The difference is that most people obey that feeling. The successful ones don't. You keep waiting for energy to show up before you start. You keep telling yourself, I'll do it when I feel ready. I'll start tomorrow. I'll begin next week. I'll wait until I'm motivated. But tomorrow keeps becoming another tomorrow. Weeks become months. Months become years. And one day you wake up realizing you've spent more time making excuses than making progress. Life doesn't reward excuses. It rewards commitment. Nobody cares that you were tired. Nobody cares that you weren't feeling it. The results only care about what you did. Think about that for a second. Your dream doesn't disappear because you had a bad day, but it will disappear if every bad day becomes an excuse to stop. Stop treating commitment like an emotion. Commitment is a decision. It's waking up and saying, I don't care how I feel today. The work still gets done, because discipline begins exactly where motivation ends. The truth is simple. If you're only working on the days you feel inspired, you're training yourself to be average. Average people wait for perfect conditions. Committed people create results in imperfect conditions. You don't need more energy. You need a stronger reason to keep going. And until that reason becomes bigger than your excuses, nothing in your life will change. Now I want you to ask yourself one uncomfortable question. Who is really controlling your life? Is it you, or is it your mood? Because if your mood decides whether you work today, whether you study today, whether you train today, whether you chase your dream today, then you're not in control. Your emotions are. And emotions are some of the worst leaders you could ever follow. They change every single day. One morning, they make you feel unstoppable. The next morning, they convince you that you're too tired, too stressed, too busy, or too far behind. If you let your feelings make your decisions, don't be surprised when your life keeps going in circles. Your feelings don't know where you want to go. They only know what feels comfortable right now. And comfort has destroyed more dreams than failure ever has. Look around you. Every successful person you admire has days where they don't feel like showing up. They wake up exhausted. They deal with pressure. They experience failure. People doubt them. Sometimes even they doubt themselves. There are mornings when they want to stay in bed. There are nights when they're mentally drained. There are moments when quitting feels easier than continuing. But they keep going. Not because they're superheroes, not because they have unlimited energy, not because they're lucky, because they made one decision that most people never make. They decided that commitment would always be stronger than their excuses. That's what separates ordinary people from extraordinary ones. It's not talent. It's not intelligence. It's not having more time. It's the ability to keep moving when every excuse sounds reasonable. Think about your own life. How many opportunities have you lost simply because you didn't feel like starting? How many workouts have you skipped? How many books have you left unfinished? How many business ideas are still sitting inside your head? How many goals have you delayed because you kept waiting for the perfect moment? Here's the truth. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The people who succeed aren't waiting for life to become easier. They're becoming stronger while life stays difficult. That's why they move ahead while everyone else stays where they are. You have to stop believing that motivation is the answer. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days it's there. Some days it disappears completely. If your success depends on motivation, then your success is temporary too. Commitment is different. Commitment doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what needs to be done. Commitment doesn't care that you slept badly. It doesn't care that today was stressful. It doesn't care that you're in a bad mood. It simply reminds you of the promise you made to yourself. The work still has to be done. That's the mentality that changes lives. Too many people believe hard work means working when they're excited. That's easy. Anyone can work when they feel motivated. Anyone can smile when life is going well. Anyone can chase a goal when progress comes quickly. But what happens when none of that is true? What happens when you've worked for months and nothing has changed? What happens when you're exhausted? When nobody believes in you? When you're putting in the effort and seeing no reward? That's the moment that defines who you are. Because real discipline begins exactly where motivation ends. Every day you choose comfort over commitment. You're training yourself to quit. But every day you choose commitment over comfort. You're training yourself to become unstoppable. Remember this. Your competition isn't beating you because they're always better. Many times they're winning because they refuse to stop on the days you decide to rest without earning it. While you're negotiating with your excuses, they're building their future. While you're waiting to feel ready, they're taking action. While you're hoping your life changes, they're making a change. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't filled with motivation. It's filled with thousands of small decisions to keep going, especially when you don't feel like it. So stop asking yourself if you're in the mood. Stop asking whether you have enough energy. Ask yourself something that actually matters. Is the life you dream about worth sacrificing today's comfort? Because every decision you make today is writing the story you'll be forced to live tomorrow. There is something nobody tells you when you're chasing a dream. Consistency is not exciting. It's not glamorous. It's not the kind of thing people celebrate every single day. Most of the time, consistency is boring. It's waking up and doing the same work over and over again. It's repeating the same habits. It's making progress so slowly that sometimes you wonder if you're moving at all. And that's exactly why most people quit. They become addicted to excitement instead of progress. They want instant results. They want their hard work to pay off after a week. They want one workout to transform their body, one business idea to make them rich, one video to go viral, 1 month of effort to change their entire life. That's not how success works. Success is built in silence. It's built on ordinary days. It's built in moments when nobody is watching. It's built through actions so small that they almost seem meaningless. But here's what people fail to understand. Those small actions don't stay small forever. One day of discipline may not change your life. Neither will 1 week. Maybe not even 1 month. But stack those days together. 1 day becomes 10. 10 becomes 100. 100 becomes 1,000. And suddenly the person looking back at you in the mirror isn't the same person who started. That is the power of consistency. Not because 1 day changes everything, but because thousands of ordinary days eventually create an extraordinary life. The problem is that people underestimate what they can become because they overestimate what they can achieve overnight. They give up far too early. They plant the seed, water it for a few days, then dig it up because they don't see a tree. That's not patience. That's self-sabotage. Everything valuable in life takes time. Your body, your business, your mindset, your confidence, your skills, your success. None of them appear overnight. Every single one demands that you keep showing up long before you see any reward. That's where commitment becomes your greatest weapon, because commitment allows you to keep working when the results are invisible. Anyone can stay consistent after seeing success, but can you stay consistent before success arrives? Can you keep improving when nobody notices? Can you keep working when nobody is clapping for you? Can you keep believing in yourself when even the people closest to you don't understand your vision? That's the test. And most people fail it, not because they're weak, but because they expect the journey to be easy. Let me tell you something that might change the way you think forever. Your future is watching everything you do today. Every excuse you make today becomes a burden your future self has to carry. Every habit you build today becomes a gift your future self gets to enjoy. The person you'll become 5 years from now is being created by the choices you make today. Not once, not occasionally, every single day. So stop chasing motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect morning, the perfect mood, or the perfect moment. Those things may never come. Instead, become the kind of person who keeps their word. If you tell yourself you're going to work, then work. If you tell yourself you're going to study, then study. If you tell yourself you're going to improve, then improve. Because every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your self-respect. And every time you keep that promise, no matter how small, you build confidence that no one can take away. You don't become unstoppable by doing something incredible once. You become unstoppable by refusing to stop doing the ordinary things that everyone else gets tired of doing. That's what commitment looks like. It's quiet. It's repetitive. It's difficult. But in the end, it always beats talent that refuses to work. It always beats potential that never takes action. And it always beats excuses disguised as reasons. One committed person will always go farther than 100 people who are only waiting to feel motivated. Now let me tell you something that most people don't want to hear. Your biggest obstacle probably isn't your lack of talent. It isn't your age. It isn't your background. It isn't the people around you. It's the habit of making deals with yourself. You say you'll wake up early. The alarm rings. You tell yourself, just 10 more minutes. 10 minutes becomes 30. 30 becomes an hour. And before the day has even started, you've already broken a promise to yourself. Then you tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next Monday. Next Monday becomes next month. Next month becomes next year. This is how dreams die, not in one dramatic moment. They die one excuse at a time. Every excuse feels small. Every delay feels harmless. Every shortcut feels justified. But those small decisions add up. Just like discipline compounds, excuses compound too. The scary part is that you rarely notice it while it's happening. You don't wake up one morning and suddenly become unsuccessful. You slowly become the person who quits, the person who delays, the person who waits, the person who keeps saying, "I'll start soon." And after enough time passes, that version of you begins to feel normal. That's dangerous because your habits eventually become your identity. If you constantly avoid hard things, you begin to believe you're someone who can't handle hard things. If you constantly quit, you begin to believe you're a quitter. But the opposite is also true. Every time you do something difficult, even when you don't feel like it, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. You're proving to yourself that your actions are stronger than your emotions. That's real confidence. Confidence isn't built by talking about your goals. It isn't built by watching motivational videos all day. It isn't built by waiting until you feel fearless. Confidence is earned. It's earned every single time you keep going after your mind tells you to stop. Think about the strongest people you've ever met. Not physically, mentally. They're not strong because life has been easy. They're strong because they refused to surrender every time life became difficult. Pressure didn't destroy them. It shaped them. Pain didn't end their journey. It became part of it. And that's exactly what you have to understand. The hard days are not signs that you should quit. They're proof that you're doing something worthwhile. Nothing valuable comes without resistance. A muscle grows because it's challenged. A mind grows because it's tested. Character grows because it's forced to make difficult choices. Stop asking for an easier path. Become stronger so the path no longer scares you. Because here's the reality. The life you want is already demanding a price. The question is whether you're willing to pay it. Success asks for early mornings. It asks for discipline. It asks for sacrifices. It asks for patience. It asks you to keep working when there is no guarantee that anyone will notice. Most people look at that price and walk away. Then they spend years wondering why someone else is living the life they wanted. Don't let that be your story. Years from now, you don't want to look back and realize that your greatest regrets came from moments when you chose comfort over commitment. You want to look back knowing that you gave everything you had, even if the journey was difficult, even if people laughed, even if progress was slow. Because at the end of the day, it's far better to be exhausted from chasing your dream than to be exhausted from making excuses. So starting today, stop negotiating with yourself. When it's time to work, work. When it's time to learn, learn. When it's time to improve, improve. No debates, no excuses, no waiting, just action. Because commitment isn't something you say, it's something you prove. Every single day, there will come a day when you'll have two choices. You can continue living the life that's familiar, or you can become the person your dreams have been waiting for. But understand this, you cannot have both. You cannot chase greatness while protecting your comfort. You cannot build an extraordinary life by making ordinary decisions. Every level of success demands that you leave an old version of yourself behind. The version that makes excuses. The version that waits for motivation. The version that starts strong but disappears when things become difficult. That version has to go, because the life you want has no room for it. Ask yourself this. If someone followed you around for the next 30 days and copied every habit you have, would they end up living the life you dream about? Would they become disciplined? Would they become successful? Would they become someone who keeps their word? Or would they become someone who constantly delays, complains, and hopes things somehow get better? That answer tells you everything you need to know. Your future isn't being decided by what you say. It's being decided by what you repeat. Your habits are writing your future long before your results appear. That's why every single day matters. Every morning matters. Every decision matters. Every excuse matters. Every promise you keep matters. People often ask what the secret to success is. They expect some complicated answer, a hidden strategy, a special mindset, a shortcut. There isn't one. The secret is showing up again and again and again, long after the excitement has disappeared, long after nobody is paying attention, long after everyone else has quit. That's the secret. The truth is, your biggest competition isn't another person. It's the version of you that always chooses comfort. The version that says you'll start tomorrow. The version that convinces you one missed day doesn't matter. The version that tells you you've already done enough. That voice will always be there. It never disappears. The only thing that changes is whether you listen to it. And every time you ignore it and choose action instead, you become mentally stronger. Not overnight, but day by day, brick by brick, choice by choice. One day you'll realize that the discipline you hated became the freedom you always wanted. The early mornings gave you confidence. The hard work gave you opportunities. The consistency gave you results. The sacrifices gave you a life that excuses never could. Imagine waking up a year from now. Imagine looking back at today. Which version of yourself will you think? The one who gave up because they were tired? Or the one who kept going anyway? Remember this. Being tired is normal. Being challenged is normal. Feeling like quitting is normal. None of those things mean you should stop. They simply mean you're human. What matters is what you do next. Stand up. Take the next step. Finish the next task. Then the next one. You don't have to feel powerful to take action. You just have to take action. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates belief. And belief, backed by relentless commitment, creates a life that most people only dream about. So stop waiting for the perfect version of yourself to arrive. That person isn't coming. The person you've been waiting for is built by the decisions you make today. This moment, this hour, this choice. Your future is not waiting for your motivation. It's waiting for your commitment. And every second you spend making excuses is a second you'll never get back. Make today count, not because it's easy, but because your future deserves the version of you that refuses to quit. Before you leave this video, I want you to remember one thing. Years from now, nobody is going to remember how many times you said you were tired. Nobody is going to remember how many excuses you had. Nobody is going to remember how many opportunities you almost took. They will only see the life you built. And more importantly, you will have to live with it. Every sunrise gives you a choice. You can wake up and repeat yesterday, or you can become someone your future self will thank. That choice has always been yours. It always will be. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Life isn't waiting for you. Time isn't slowing down for you. Every day that passes is one day you can never earn back. Think about the dreams you've carried for years, the business you wanted to build, the body you wanted to create, the skills you wanted to master, the life you promised yourself. None of those dreams are impossible, but they're impossible for the person who keeps choosing excuses over action. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to have the most money. You don't need the perfect plan. You need commitment. The kind of commitment that says, I will keep going when nobody believes in me. I will keep going when progress is slow. I will keep going when I'm tired. I will keep going when I fail. Because failure isn't the opposite of success. Quitting is. Remember that. You can fail 100 times and still succeed if you refuse to quit. But the moment you stop trying, you've already decided what your future will look like. Don't let temporary discomfort steal a lifetime of opportunity. Don't trade your biggest dreams for today's convenience. Your future family deserves your effort. Your future self deserves your discipline. The people who look up to you deserve your example. And most importantly, you deserve to know what you're truly capable of. So when this video ends, don't just feel motivated. Do something. Write down your goal. Start the task you've been avoiding. Finish the work you've been delaying. Take one step today, then another tomorrow, then another the day after that. Small actions, repeated every day, become a life that people call extraordinary. Never forget this. Energy comes and goes. Motivation comes and goes. Feelings come and go. But commitment stays. And commitment will take you places that motivation never could. If this message spoke to you, and if you're serious about becoming the strongest version of yourself, I'd love for you to be part of this community. Subscribe to the channel so we can keep growing together and keep holding each other to a higher standard. If this video gave you even one thought that changed the way you see your life, leave a like so I know these messages are helping. And I'd really like to hear from you in the comments. Tell me what goal you're committing to. Tell me what excuse you're leaving behind. Or share a moment when commitment helped you keep going even when you didn't feel like it. Your story might be the reason someone else refuses to give up today. If you know someone who's struggling, someone who's waiting for motivation instead of taking action, share this video with them. It might be exactly what they need to hear. Now close this video. Put your phone down. Stop waiting. Stop thinking. Stop negotiating with yourself. Go do the work. Your future is being built right now. Make sure you're building something you'll be proud of.